Hey there, just wanted to make a quick shop update video. Actually, if you want to see more content like this, click the link in the description below to Community Machinery Behind the Scenes. And some of it's going to be boring and I'll probably ramble on, but put lots of that content here. And number one thing, friend David reached out, which was really great, to say, hey, sometimes I try and click the like button or some other function on YouTube and it's not working. It's all good. It means a lot sometimes when I know people are out there, even if certain functions of YouTube might not work. It's all good. And just trying to up my video making skill. It's one of those things I feel like is a great way to communicate and a great way to learn how to put things across in a simplistic way. I'm gonna keep this brief before the phone battery, well, it's not the battery, the memory runs out on this thing. So next thing is vulnerability in terms of going from going to profitability, where right now I'm not drawing a wage in order to make things balance out in the company. So it's really, I bought myself a job. I don't really have a business. I bought myself a job. I've been watching a lot of business videos and getting lots of little ideas here and there. So the best ones, I might share a little bit more of that here. So there's some vulnerability in that. Actually, last week I was thrown off because there was something completely outside of stuff that's going on in the shop. Someone confronted me about something. And I tell you, it just threw me off for the whole week. I didn't feel like invoicing anything. So sometimes there's challenges like that that come up. And learning to have compassion. Actually, if you can see the little yellow post-it note on the milling machine, to have compassion. It might be a green post-it note. Anyhow, it's been a great reminder in terms of being at peace with where we are on our journeys instead of comparing our journeys to others. Huge thing. Probably the most important learning lesson instead of how to make money, how to be compassionate. Anyhow, next thing. Oh, so I reached out to Opportunities New Brunswick, which sometimes has helped connect us with really great resources for business planning and what organizations can help out businesses and who's doing what in other business that might be complementary to our own. So that's one thing where I had a nice conversation and have a full page list of people I can follow up on, ideas, and I can always meet up with Opportunities in New Brunswick again. So that was really helpful. Still wrapping up a tax audit. So hopefully that's in the final stage. So then we can get some other stuff going and wrapped up once we know everything is correct with that. Other thing, I don't know that I've made a video or I showed the guides we made for this to rotate in order to put longer pieces of material. So that's something that's ongoing. Actually got the shop rate poster here. So increasing the shop rate a little bit. Don't know how that's going to go, but it hasn't been increased in, I don't know when the last time. It's been over a year, but I'm not sure when. So that is something that we're really thinking about. And oh yeah, so I still haven't made the table insert to go around the blade, but the blade used to wander in and out before because the tires on the wheels and the bandsaw and everything's off just a little bit. So the nice thing about this is this has been pulling the bandsaw back into the guide. So that has been one bonus, but at the same time it puts a lot of tension. And these brass guides, I tell you, there's brass chips. You can probably see this, there's brass chips all over. So that's a big improvement. That's the kind of stuff I would put more on the community machinery behind the scenes. Other thing, the work in progress shelf, which did a little bit on that before, has been great because this area here, which is meant for the shop computer, has stayed empty because usually a lot of junk will pile up in there. So the nice thing about having a shop computer, you're stuck on a little project, instead of searching, spending a long time on the phone and not being able to see stuff well, when there's a shop computer there, I've got a monitor that was actually donated by a really great friend that I don't see too often. Well, someone, I don't know if we've called each other friends, but someone I would consider a friend. So that was a really generous thing that's going to be super helpful as far as having a bit bigger monitor for whatever computer ends up there or being able to have two computers on a laptop is sometimes nice. So that's been great. The other thing, been working on this magnetic base drill. You can see a Instagram post of this base here, which is really an interesting kind of circular dovetail, half dovetail, and it'll allow you to center the chuck up on whatever spot you want to locate accurately instead of having to muscle the whole thing around. When you swing this collar around, it adjusts. So the kicker with this is I thought there was going to be an easy way to reverse it. This fine motor, which is made in Germany, it is also on some hand drills, and this thing has a 4-speed gearbox, which we had apart. So the challenge is this thing does not reverse. Some of the hand drills do reverse. I don't know how they make the reverse function. This does not have enough wires coming out. And I've also learned that you can reverse a motor by adding a capacitor in. But this does not have a capacitor. Some of these do have a capacitor, but I was told the capacitor has nothing to do with the reverse circuit. So that's a mystery. It would be nice if it reversed for threading, for tapping, for reversing the taps out of a hole after tapping a hole. We don't do a whole lot with the mag drill anyway. So worst case, you can always thread your tap in, which is really the thing that takes a lot of the horsepower, and just reverse the taps out of the hole by hand, or just clamp a hand drill on and power them out that way. But it just seems like a lot of playing around. So that's something that's on the go, and trying to think of what else. Got this Kalamazoo belt sander quite a while back. For whatever reason, the tracking is never really great. Like from starting it up one time to the next, it can be off a little bit. Other thing that's exciting, because I was just thinking about how people love pushing on sanding belts, and then that messes up the tracking. And yeah, sometimes if there's a visitor in the shop, someone will just innocently just move that belt a bit, and that will happen. Which reminds me, sometimes when that happens is 4-H, which is really great because anyone who's had a business and has wanted to do any kind of teaching, liability insurance can be really tough to get, and 4-H covers all that, which is beautiful. And it allows people who have an overlap in interest in manufacturing things. Like last year, everyone wanted to build some side panels for showing livestock and some fan mounts for cooling the livestock off when they go to shows. So yeah, so that mainly for beef and dairy cattle, and maybe sheep, and I'm not sure if there's something else in there as far as all those four-legged creatures. So that's a fun thing as far as having some younger, more enthusiastic, more inspired minds in the shop, and really open-minded in terms of not having been in an environment where they feel like they need to conform in a certain way, or they bring new ideas in, a new perspective, it's all new. It's all great. So registration is open now, so I've been trying to get that word out there a little bit and see who that attracts. Actually, there was someone that reached out through, usually it's the rural farm kids, or kids who are interested in horses and whatever else. They usually come into 4-H. And sometimes there's others that really just want to try new things, which 4-H is a great opportunity for stuff like that. And I think its age ranges, 6 to 21, where we, in here, there won't be a lot of 6-year-olds running around. But we had some junior members last year, or maybe not Clover, but I forget the age range, but grade 5, grade 6, and around there, and learned a lot as far as probably do a shorter, earlier time for anyone who's younger, and change it up and change the content and the approach for those that are older. And it's been really great for me finding new ways to explain things in a simple way and keep things interesting and lively and stop and play a game, which as adults, we could really stand to do those types of things as far as taking a step back, taking a break, coming to it with some new enthusiasm, new energy. I'm going to leave it at that. It's a 10-minute video, which I didn't know that how it was all going to wrap up. So once again, Community Machinery behind the scenes. Description is going to be below if you want to check that out. Super. And until next time, thanks again for watching.